Halley is often regarded as the most famous comet in history because it first shows astronomers that sighting of a comet can be repeated many times in the night sky. Currently, astronomers relate to the date of observation of this comet to more than 2,000 years ago. Halley was last seen in Earth's sky in 1986 and has also been observed in space by the International Space Fleet. This comet is scheduled to return to the Earth's sky in 2061 during its 76 years journey around the Sun. History of Halley's Comet. The history of Halley's Comet dates back to before the birth of the English astronomer Edmund Halley, after whom the comet is named, and even before the invention of this first telescope in 1608. According to the European Space Agency, Halley's Comet probably appeared in 240 BC, as described in a book called Records of the Great Historians, a book written between 109 and 91 BC. It has been observed since AD by Chinese astronomers under the name Broom Star. Some also believe that the comet that was seen in ancient Greece between 467 and 466 BC was probably Halley. Babylonian records found on ancient Halley tablets show what was probably seen between 164 and 87 BC. Halley may also be the comet described by the Roman historian Dion Cassius as a terrifying star in 218 AD. Indeed, the appearance of comets in general was often regarded as omens of death. Who described Halley's Comet? Halley's Comet has been seen many times throughout history, but no one knew that it was actually a single comet that was seen intermittently. Edmund Halley, as English astronomer, was the first to propose this idea. In 1705, he used Isaac Newton's theory of gravity and planetary motion to calculate the orbits of various comets. He found similarities in the orbits of comets recorded in 1531, 1607, and 1682 and said that these were probably the same comet. Halley, who was also a physicist and mathematician, calculated that this comet would appear in the night sky in 1758. However, Edmund Halley did not live long enough to see the prediction come true, as he died in 1742. Then the French astronomer Nicolas Louis Delarcay, shortly after the reappearance of the comet in 1758, named it Halley's Comet in honor of Edmund Halley. When did Halley last appear? Halley's Comet last appeared in 1986. 4 years before its appearance, astronomers imaged the comet with the Hale telescope at the Palomar Observatory in California when it was above Saturn orbit. In March 1986, 5 spacecraft to pass by this comet, including 2 Japanese spacecraft named Skajek and Suisi, 2 Soviet spacecraft named Ouija-1 and Ouija-2, and a spacecraft belonging to the European Space Agency named Giotto, were sent, which were able to pass a distance of 596 kilometers from the nucleus of Halley. The numerous probes sent to study Halley's Comet are called the Halley's feet. Technology at the time allowed scientists to obtain high-quality images of Halley's Comet, especially when compared to the first images taken in 1910. These close-up images allow scientists to determine that the nucleus of Halley's Comet is a solid mass made mostly of dust and ice, which together form a dirty snowball. NASA also planned to observe this comet from near-Earth orbit through the 2 space shuttle missions, but this program was cancelled due to the Challenger disaster. Where is the Halley's Comet now? Halley's Comet is currently visible in the constellation Hydra, the largest and longest in the southern hemisphere, at a distance of more than 5,200 million kilometers from Earth. Halley's next visit to Earth is expected to be in July 2061, when it reaches its next perigee. Halley's Comet will be about 71 million kilometers away from our planet at that time. Halley will have a better observational position in its its next pass by us than in 1985 and 1986 because it will be on the same side of the sun as the Earth is when it reached perigee, while Halley was not visible until about 2 months after its perigee in 1985 and 1986. The perigee is closest possible distance to the sun, actually. Sending probes to Halley's Comet. When Halley's Comet passed by Earth in 1986, it was the first time a probe had gone into space to observe it. This mission was a welcome development as the comet had appeared quite faint in ground-based observations. In fact, at that time, the comet was at its close distance from the Sun and on the opposite side of the Earth in the solar system, and hence it was seen as a diameter and distance cosmic body, about 63 million kilometers from the Earth. To date, several probes have successfully visited this comet. The fleet of Halley's passenger probes is commonly referred to as the Halley's Armada. This mission consists of 2 probes, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, which were the result of joint cooperation between the Soviet Union and France. These probes made close passes of the comet's orbit and captured images of Halley's core or heart. The European Space Agency Kyoto spacecraft is even closer to Halley's core and was able to transmit sculpture images of it to Earth. Japan sent 2 probes, Sagitek and Swiss, to Halley's Comet and was able to obtain valuable information from it. It will be decades before Halley's Comet returns to Earth again in 2061. But in this meantime, you can see its remains right now. The giant meteor shower, which originates from particles left by Halley's Comet, occurs every year in October. Halley also produces the untitled way meteor shower in May. Another point about Halley's return to Earth in 2061 is that apart from the communication it will causes among the believers to the end of the world, this time it will be on the same side of the sun as the Earth, hence it will appear much brighter in the night sky than it did in 1986. It is extremely difficult to predict a comet's orbit on a scale higher than 100 years, but scientists have different hypotheses about the fate of the most famous comet in history. It is possible that Halley's Comet will collide with another object or be thrown out of the solar system in less than 10,000 years. What will happen if Halley's Comet hits the Earth? Scientists estimated that Halley's Comet has a diameter of 11 kilometers. Based on geological evidence, it is estimated that the comet or asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs about 65 and 66 million years ago had a diameter of about 10 kilometers and probably a crater 180 kilometers long near the current Yucatan Peninsula located in has left southwest Mexico. But the dinosaurs were not immediately destroyed by this collision. Apparently, this collision has acid rain, and the soot from the fires has blocked sunlight. They did create a harsh winter that eventually caused this mass extinction. If Halley's Comet were to hit the Earth, we would not only have to worry about this explosion and release of tremendous energy from this collision, but also the environmental damage that could lead to further extinction of life forms on Earth. The good news is that Halley's close approach to Earth so far was 4.94 million kilometers in 837, and scientists don't expect Halley to get any closer in the next few hundred years. Therefore, the risk of Halley hitting the ground is 0. However, we will have a spectacular view of Halley's Comet in 2061, and every year we can see its remnants during the Jabari and Etatilui meteor showers. But really, will Halley's Comet hit Earth in 2061? Maybe now some people easily consider superstition to be the cause of people's panic over the passages of Halley's Comet. But unlike the previous comets, this time it was science that sparked the fire of terror, with news from Earth in 2020 as the cause of the global spread of COVID-19. And this is not the end of the story. Apparently, conspiracy theories and clergy have agreed on the next passages of Halley's Comet in 2061. However, NASA and another issue and officially denied it. But apparently nothing could stop the many rumors about this. Rumors that have been predictable since 19 times by referring to the 10th and 11th chapters of the 8th chapters of the book of Revelation of John from the New Testament. In these vessels we read suddenly a huge star like a light lamp came down from the sky and fell on a third of the ship. Media even confirmed this prediction by quoting these statements of a team of scientists from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and announced that the comet and the Earth will meet on May 10, 2061. This media even announced the possibility of Halley's comet hitting the Earth at 81.32%. This possible collision will happen at 15:15 GMT. Apart from all these debates and controversies, maybe we should wait and see what Halley's comet will really bring to Earth in its next passages. Thank you guys for watching, and what do you think about this one? Do you think really it will be happen? Write it to comment for us and tell me, do you afraid of this happening or you don't care anything about this? And also write it to comment and we can talk about it and share your idea about this one. Thank you again guys for watching. Don't forget subscribe the channel, like the video, share this with your friend, and also activate the bell. So here you are with the recommended book and movie for today. We will see you very soon. Goodbye.